Well, now there's only about, 25 days, 24 days maximum before Pam Bondi, oh God, is set to release the files. Now, I don't know what's going to be in these files outside of the fact that there's nothing that implicates Donald Trump in it. But I do think it's noteworthy how Hollywood seems to be turning their back on Jimmy Kimmel. Now, I have long pointed out that Jimmy Kimmel's great friend was Jeffrey's personal chef. He even helped him open a restaurant during the lockdowns, I believe, or just before the lockdowns. Jimmy Kimmel has been wildly making untrue claims about Donald Trump being on this list for 10 years now. And it is probably one of the most obvious cases of methinks doth protest too much. These liberals, far left liberals, not just your everyday liberals, everyday liberals are cool with me. These far leftoids are always accusing you of everything that they're guilty of. And in this clip, I want to show Bill Maher absolutely eviscerating Jimmy Kimmel and his wife.
Molly McNerney, Jimmy Kimmel's wife and head writer, went public on this topic recently, so I feel it's fair to comment respectfully in public. She says she's lost relationships with relatives because she wrote them an email before the election with 10 reasons why they shouldn't vote for Trump, and some still didn't obey. So, 10 reasons.
I mean, this is their mindset. I couldn't even imagine getting an email from a friend or family member being like, here's how you should vote. Like, I would reply with, well, I wasn't going to vote for Trump, but now I'm gonna.
I could think of 100. But I would never present it to someone as an ultimatum. Ultimatums don't make people rethink their politics. They make them rethink you.
I want to see if I can find the longer clip, because the longer clip is even more brutal. It's just, it's kind of the last of a dying breed. These leftoids that were obsessed with this. Here's a little bit
Molly
long.
McNerney, Jimmy Kimmel's wife. Imagine 10 reasons why 77 million Americans didn't
here's the rest of it. Yeah.
You.
Listen to the applause, by the way, in Bill Maher's audience. I want you to listen to the applause after he says this.
Molly McNerney, Jimmy Kimmel's wife and head writer, went public on this topic recently, so I feel it's fair to comment respectfully in public.
I agree.
She says she's lost relationships with relatives because she wrote them an email before the election with 10 reasons why they shouldn't vote for Trump, and some still didn't obey. So, 10 reasons. I could think of 100. But I would never present it to someone as an ultimatum. Ultimatums don't make people rethink their politics. They make them rethink you.
Look at two black people on the, I don't know. This lady I've seen before. I'm not sure who this guy is. Is this Killer Mike maybe? I'm not totally sure who that is. Oh, it is Killer Mike. Yeah, okay. It says it on his shirt, thankfully. I didn't want to hear, they all look the same to you, huh? I was pretty sure it was Killer Mike.
Somewhere along the way, my values became code for I'm the only one with a moral compass.
Right.
You know, it would have been a better exercise? Write a top 10 list to yourself where you try to imagine 10 reasons why 77 million Americans didn't want to trust you with taking power. And I say that as someone who votes Democratic. As I like to remind my very pure friends, we voted for the same person. You're just why she lost.
It is that kind of elitist attitude, this world where, Kimmel, his wife, there's a reason that we haven't seen any stories about Kimmel's ratings. Now, I am sure tonight that Jimmy Kimmel is going to probably go on and cry about it and Bill Maher went to dinner with Trump, so he's probably on the list too. I am sure that Kimmel will melt down. And this is their death throes. This is literally, I think that people are distancing themselves from Kimmel because he is a sinking ship. And, you know, if we look at Kimmel ratings, how come they haven't talked about any ratings? Here's October. We've got 2.37 million. Jimmy Kimmel was down another 14%. So here's his ratings that came out November 11th. So I assume it's continuing to drop since then, but you know, let's go through this. Remember when every article imaginable and they were saying about how great Kimmel's ratings are? It's just like how every article imaginable was talking about how high and how crazy the ratings were for South Park. It's been awfully quiet for the last 2 months, haven't it? Like, hasn't it? I haven't seen a single article talking about how amazing the South Park ratings are. You see this, late nighter Stephen Colbert reclaimed his top spot at 11:35 among total viewers in October, while Jimmy Kimmel Live held onto first place with advertiser coveted 18 to 49. Both shows were down from their September peaks. Colbert down 4%, that's negligible, to 263 million, while Jimmy Kimmel was down another 14%. That means Kimmel's viewership is down like 65% since his fake debacle with Trump. 65 or 70%. He had like 5 or 6 million viewers when he first came back. This is why, it's gone bad. Now, even Gutfeld was down versus last month. But October, November, people are starting to think about Christmas. A few percentage points down, probably. Not crazy, but for Kimmel to be down 15%, if you look at everyone else, other than The Daily Show, ironically, so the most liberal shows are down way more than average. Way more than average. The average looks like 3 to 5%, but Kimmel's down another 15%. People have tuned out because what is it? Oh, I'm going to tune in to hear what? Orange Man bad? By the way, if we look at the demo, this is perhaps even more damning. Jimmy Kimmel down another 29% with the key demo. Down another 29% with the key demo. People 18 to 49 at more than double the rate of his average viewer have left his show in the last month. This is a show like Kimmel viewership peak. This is a guy that peaked at 6.5 million viewers. Okay, 6.5 million viewers on September when he returned, and now he has, what did I say, 2 million? Let's just do some quick back of the math here. 6.5 million viewers, and he's down to like 2. Yeah, it's like 70%. Like, it's like, if I go back, 6.47 million viewers. Where is this? Yeah, his Q2 average was just 1.17 million. So he got 6.5 million people to tune back in to hear what he had to say, and they all left. Why? Because they're still running this nonsense like Axios. Trump ups attacks on ABC as FCC eyes more broadcast oversight. A string of recent attacks on ABC personalities by President Trump has helped set the stage for the president's media regulator, Brendan Carr, to introduce heavier oversights. Well, if you want to say whatever you want, I support that, but I don't want my tax dollars to go for it. Here's the New York Post talking about it. While speaking about people cutting off their family members over differences in political views, Maher addressed Kimmel's wife. She says she lost relationships with relatives because they didn't care what she had to say about politics. ABC and Disney did not immediately return. Fox News Digital want to come back. Jimmy Kimmel is spiraling out of control. It's absolutely bonkers. His wife admitted on air that she has Trump derangement syndrome. She's the head writer. So what exactly do you think is going into the writing of his show? The vast majority of liberals believe that government is responsible for the overall well-being. Unfortunately, government exercised at any level is force. Further, the vast majority of government employees at any level have little nor interest in the people they purportedly serve. Yeah, I'd agree with that. She said, quote, and it's really hard for me because I grew up believing in Christian ideals and taking of the sick and the care of the poor. And I don't see that happening with the Republican Party. This is just not an educated woman. While I don't agree with Maher's politics, I do respect his current thinking, which appears to coincide with old thinking. Agree to disagree. I think the best quote of this article is, but I am ultimatums don't make people rethink their politics. Yeah, I mean, it's just like all these people that are saying, give me a raise or I'm going to quit. I had an employee at one point that said that. I just fired him because I don't do ultimatums. And I think people are going to distance themselves even more from Kimmel. I can't wait for these files to come out. Obviously, I don't know for sure if he's named in them. I'm not saying he is. Like he says, Trump is all the time. But I'd say he's getting a little more nervous. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.